With your Sports on Demand for Wednesday, October 23rd, I'm Alex Klein. College basketball season is rapidly approaching, which means it's time for the GLIAC to release its preseason coaches poll. We'll start in the North Division, where Ferris State is in the top spot with 55 points, earning 6 first-place votes. The Bulldogs went 20-12 last year and returned 7 key members. Parkside is right behind them at number 2, followed by our first UP team, Michigan Tech, in third with 45 points. A young team last year, the Huskies now have a year of experience under their belts and returned Tommy Luca and Kyle Monroe back from injury. In fourth comes Lake Superior State with 33 points, followed by Purdue Northwest and Northern Michigan. The Wildcats are under new head coach Matt Makerzak and lost top scorers Naba Eccles and Isaiah Johnson. In the South Division, last year's defending regular season champs take number 1. That is Davenport with 11 of 12 first-place votes and 61 points. Ashland is second with 50 points, followed by Grand Valley State, Northwood, Saginaw Valley State, and lastly, Wayne State. Now to the GLIAC North preseason all-conference team. For NMU, Miles Howard was on the all-defensive team for the second straight season last year after leading the GLIAC with 2.9 blocks a game. He also led the Wildcats in rebounds per game at 7 and scored 3 games in double figures. For Michigan Tech, both Kyle Monroe and Dawson Bilski. Monroe was sidelined last season with injury, but led the Huskies and GLIAC in scoring 2 seasons ago at 27.7 points a game. He also broke the school record for most points in a single season, finishing with 803. Bilski was second team All-GLIAC last season, and he led Michigan Tech in scoring with 12.8 points per game. He shot 46.2% from the floor and was over 40% from three-point range. Lake Superior State's Camontrese Collins and Ferris State's Cole Walker also making the list. Golf now, and NMU finishing off the season at the Kohler Classic. The women taking third overall as a team. Senior Caro Els led the Wildcats, finishing in a tie for second place with 164 total. Els shot an 84 in round 1 and 79 in round 2. Caro's teammates all placed within the top 25. Sophomore Gianna Gastro also near the top of the pack, placing 10th with a 170 total. On the men's side, the Wildcats take 9th overall out of 20 teams to finish out the season. Senior Chris Black led the Wildcats, finishing tied for 27th overall, shooting 84 on day 1 and 86 on day 2 for a 170 total. Senior Curtis Fontina also broke the top 50, shooting an 87 and 85 for a 172 total, finishing tied for 36th. Soccer now, and Finlandia's women's team pretty good this year, sporting a 9-5-1 record, including going 6-1 at home. But this past weekend, the Lions put up a poor performance, a 7-0 loss to Olivet. After the game, head coach Grace Sokolow did some soul searching.
I gave them T.S. Eliot's The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, which is epic in terms of our literary canon. And what happens in that poem is a man wrestles with his doubt about himself, and he ultimately settles on self-doubt. There's a piece of the poem where he gets there and he says, "Indeed there will be a time to wonder, do I dare disturb the universe? In a minute there is time for decisions and revisions which a minute will reverse." And what I want the girls to understand is that mediocrity was a choice that he made, and it's a choice that we're not making.
The Lions now head to Mount Mary for the final game of the regular season before ACAA championships in Santa Cruz, California.